What's up, YouTubers? It's James. Some of y'all may have seen my video on my little Scion XB that I brought back. I was going to put an engine in that car, but so far it has failed to die. I did a Berryman's B12 additive or cylinder soak to this car. I've done it twice, and my oil consumption went from about 300 a quart to about 1200 a quart, which is a lot more manageable. Car still runs fine. It's never had a mechanical problem ever, other than an alternator. Really, that's it. And air conditioning that I stupidly came up the yard here and bottomed out. So that is actually what caused that problem. So this one's still running good, and as you can see, stuff over there, that's my wife's car, and the parts from this car over here that was going to be the donor are now on it. The doors, of course, were crushed, so those came from another vehicle, and they're so close, it's ridiculous. My wife doesn't really like the way this looks, but I think it looks awesome. It really does. It really does. And I picked up this thing fairly recently. That's a 2008 Lexus, and it was wrecked in the front and the left here. And I've gotten most of it taken care of. I put a headlight and a bumper on it, a fender, and 2 doors. You can still see I got the stuff on there, and a mirror. And I've got to fix this right here, which is much more obvious now that everything's straight on it. I still got to finish putting the inside back together, but I'm pretty close. Anyway, that's kind of what we're going. Got Dad's Silverado here. He's going to take a scrap run. This thing was my father's truck. He passed away in 2021, right after that Seafoam video. So this was just a basic work truck, steel wheels, 2-wheel drive, none of this other stuff, the fender flares or anything. So I had the truck lifted, suspension redone in the front because it was falling apart. The 2022 wheels, put this brush guard on the front, which is actually for 3/4 ton. It was hilarious because it stuck out like to here. I had someone cut it for me, cut it down. I put new headlights in it, and the visor, and I set up at the wheel wells on it. Can't really see in there. I've got it kind of junked up in there too right now. But there's I put a jump seat in it, and a black toolbox, and bed liner, and bed rails, the graphics. I got new bumpers on the front and the rear, new tail lights that were broken. FedEx decided to run into it when I had COVID at the beginning of 2022 and drive off. Fortunately, my cameras caught it, and they had to pay for it, so that kind of jump started that. I had to sell my old Ford to do that. So anyway, there it is right there. There's the wheels off the XB. This one over here. Now look at this thing. So in the last video, you saw how crushed it was. And I took a jack and some 4x4 posts, and I got a lot of that out. Of course, the hatch was destroyed, and as you can see, it's still kinked right here. And the car's leaning kind of this way. And if you see the other video, there was a giant gap here. So here's the clincher, and I said that those doors would never open again and close. Well, actually they do, and they close fine without any trouble. So what we're planning on doing, you can see how bent this car is. What we're planning on doing with this thing is we're just going to drive it for a little while. And so those are the original doors. Still going to work on that, and I'm going to rig up a redneck frame machine, and I'm going to pull that section out over there and get this as straight as I can. And I haven't decided 100% yet, but we're going to cut that roof off right in here somewhere. And then what we're going to do from there, I'm not really sure yet, but the car should be structurally sound enough to do that. I'll tie the shock towers together in the back. Now, you may notice there's some gigantic tires on this car. I mean, huge. So, and like I said, you see those over there. Those are the ones that were on the car that I bought to go pick it up. And what we're going to do with this thing is we're going to lift it. And I got my sensors for my what do you call the thing? The Lexus. So these wheels came from a Lexus RX 300 99, 2000, 2001, something like that. And it's 225 70 16. And the reason I went back with a 16, I want this thing to look as ridiculous as possible. So I'm gonna put the white letter tires on, the white letters sticking out, make the wheels stick out, cut the fenders, and put big fender flares on it. And then up here up front, so you can see this is a 2012. It looks like 2008 because all the parts from the wife's car went back on this. None of it's any good. This is the fantastic, wonderful paint job that Limbaugh Toyota did that they refused to take care of. Show that in another video. And so the aftermarket parts that fit like shit that were on her car, they're also gone. And so this is a damaged door from her car. Both of those are the front doors from that car. As you see, the interior is trashed in here right now. But all this is a work in progress. So the goal is we're going to get rid of the carpet. We're going to bed line the floor. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the seats exactly yet, but we're going to make it aware that it's okay for it to get rained in because it's not going to be a top for it, at least not now. But that's the worst section right there for sure. But I'm thinking we can take a piece of angle iron from here and about to right here. Probably take the door off this, make sure I don't damage it. And then we'll do the same thing on the inside. Drill holes through here, put screw hooks, take it to a tree, tie it to my truck so it doesn't move, and try to pull that back out as much as we can. Because I really want this to try to come back and straighten up before I start cutting on this thing. Because once I do that, I really don't have a way to straighten it up anymore. And if you look at it, you can tell that right tail light right there is leaning out just a little bit. But you see that kink right there. But anyway, that's what's going on with it. So just keep watching. The next update on this, this car is going to have a lift kit on it. It'll raise it up 2 inches in the back and almost 3 in the front. And you accomplish that by putting RAV4 struts. I think it's 2007 to 2012 or something of that nature. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And then on the back, there's a fella on Lifted XP page on Facebook that creates, he makes spacers for the rear. They're made out of steel, so you don't have to worry about them collapsing or anything like that. And then I'll give the car some more height. And then I'm going to take those little things across the bottom and then cut some of the bumpers off of it, make it look a little bit higher. And that right there is my brush guard that came off Ford Ranger. I'm trying to modify it to make it fit. It may or may not work out, but it's going to be cool. So whatever you expect it to look like, it's not going to look good. And I don't really care about that because that's not the point of this. But believe it or not, this car only has 79,000 miles on it, and it runs like an absolute champ. Doesn't give any trouble whatsoever. When I was bringing the car back, when I first got it, it was kind of hilarious. The check engine light was on, and it would start running poorly. Well, to come to find out, somebody had stolen the mass airflow sensor off of it, so it was running kind of in limp mode. The more hilarious thing is in the black car, in the glove box was, guess what, a spare one of those. So that's what's going on with that. But anyway, y'all check it out, and the next video you'll see this thing standing up a little bit taller.